Hello, success people. Welcome to This is Online Talk Show, Talking to Show. I'm Esther, and I will bring you to the curious discussion today. Have you heard about the varieties of English? Write in the comment box if you know a little bit. So, in this episode, we are going to discuss the implementation of the Word English's instructional model for enabling Thai student listening comprehension toward varieties of English. To discuss that issue, I need to introduce our excellent speakers. Those are Ravrendra, Alberth, Yekhonya, hi,
Hi.
and Gabriel Gayumbo, hello.
Hello.
Okay, so let's begin. Yeah, I saw on your journal article there is some information about the difficulties of Thai students in understanding foreign speakers, and you search about the instructional model of word Englishes for enabling Thai students listening comprehension. Would you like to share the general information first, Mr. Albert?
Of course, okay. We are talking about the use and mechanics of word English itself and how is it applied in everyday life, especially in the application for students in Thailand.
Okay, but I still don't understand clearly the mind map of your research. Would you like to add some information, Mr. Riel?
Sure. So, in our general article, we also look at the effectiveness of the World English Instructional Model. We also investigate the student attitudes toward the use of the World English Instructional Model.
Okay, as a reader, I got information that the background is the difficulties of Thai students to understand foreign speakers. So you doing some research on its issue. Is it clear, Mr. Albert?
Yes, it's right. Our research study in Thailand. So English plays a very important role in education and daily life, such as when they talk to foreign speakers from America and England, and also talk to people in Southeast Asia. Certainly, we need English as an international language to talk with one and another and other foreign speakers. Our previous research shows that the curriculum of higher education institution in Thailand lacks of exposure to the different varieties of English in the world. So students have difficulty in understanding foreign speakers. But in addition, teachers in Thailand only focus on the concepts of English itself, not on the understanding of other English, such as listening in their curriculum or learning methods. This results in students' lack of listening knowledge in understanding the different varieties of English in the world. This research intends to add varieties of English to improve students' comprehensive ability in listening to spoken English from different countries like that.
It's great. Now I know your pathway, but the information about the background confused me. I got that the research intend to add varieties of word English to improve students' comprehensive ability in listening to spoken English from different countries. But what is the reason why you wrote this journal article, and what is the purpose? Maybe Mr. Riel can explain it.
Okay. So, the English language is currently exceptionally vital for communication, with the status as an international language or lingua franca. The people all over the globe utilize it as for communication, and so English is more significant in Thailand than it was previously. since it is now utilized as communication among Asian countries. Objectively, we write this journal to study and assess the efficiency of the world English educational approach uh, in assisting the student in improving their listening comprehension of English variation. And we also write this to look at the student perception regarding the world English's institutional paradigm. Thank you.
Okay, I simplify that the background is the difficulties of Thai students to understand foreign speakers, and you want to study and assess the efficacy of the word English's educational approach in assisting students in improving their listening comprehension of English variation. So, to reach your purpose, I saw that you use two methodologies. Those are qualitative and quantitative methods. First, I want to ask Mr. Ria, would you like to explain about the quantitative methods first, please?
Yeah. So quantitative research is a research strategy that quantifies the data that we have been collecting and analyze. So we use interview, pre-test, and post-test as an instrument, and then we use the data analysis to process the data that we've collected, and the quantitative data that we obtained from the intelligibility test and comprehensibility test were evaluated, and then compare and contrast the student intelligibility and comprehensibility scores from the pre-test and the post-test.
Okay, how about the qualitative methods, Mr. Albert?
All right. So, as we know that qualitative methods emphasize more on the observation of phenomena and more research into the substance of the meaning of this phenomena. Therefore, I will explain the mechanism of the qualitative method. So, the participant form the semi-structured interview section. Interview session were randomly selected and divided into three groups according to their ability, such as high, medium, and low, as indicated by the total score. In addition to using the test results, qualitative methods from the interview results were used to discuss and support the quantitative data reported in the discussion section.
Yeah, from your background and then your purpose and by your methods, I saw that in your journal article there is a comparison by table between the main scores pre-test and post-test intelligibility test with the comprehensibility test. I would like to ask Mr. Albert first to explain about the pre-test and post-test from intelligibility test.
Okay, thank you. Basically, the pre-test and post-test were primarily used as a way of examining students' listening ability to recognize words and utterance by filling in blanks after listening to them. The tests were compiled following the unique characteristic of phonological feature in of ELF speakers like Chinese English, Indonesian English, Singaporean English, and Philippine English, which consist of segmental and suprasegmental features, namely, firstly, consonantal inventory, and the second is phonetic requirements, and the third is consonant cluster, and the fourth vowel quantity, and the last is nuclear stress. Based on recorded audio clips of this session were edited down to 1 2 minute listening passages. Each test consists of approximately 40 items with 10 items per variety, with a total of 40 points containing 200 until 250 words in length, and the duration of the test was 20 minutes. The scores were attained by totaling the correct answer words with added or deleted morphemes were counted as incorrect. So, based on the table, presents a comparison between pre-test and post-test listening scores and the intelligibility level. Uh, there were statistically noteworthy differences in the main scores for the pre-test and post-test. For example, G equals 22.51, P equals 0.00. The main scores for the intelligibility pretest was 9.40. I'm sorry. The main score were the main score for the intelligibility pretest was 9.41, while the main scores for the intelligibility post-test was 25.56. And the findings revealed that the post-test scores was significantly higher than the pre-test at a 0.00 level of significance. And the next, my friend Riel will explain about comprehensibility test.
Okay, so comprehensibility test is a test that by taking multiple choice assessment, pre-test and a post-test utilized to investigate the student capacity to understand uh, the core meaning of words and utterance. The exam included multiple choice of question with four options A, B, C, and D. Uh, to assess how well the student understood the meaning of word and utterance after being exposed to the ELF phonological elements of four types of English. The recorded audio, like the intelligibility test, was obtained from a website. The test consisted around 20 things, 5 items per variety, for a total of 40 points in ranging length from 200 to 150 words. The examination lasted 20 minutes and the round score was calculated by telling the number of right answer to multiple choice of question and translating the total to a mean score. There was a zero difference in the mean score between the pretest and post-test at the comprehensibility test level. Uh, T equal 4.28 and P equal 0.0. Uh, so the word English educational strategy was proven to increase the student learning outcome by scores by a lot. So uh, the post-test mean score and the pre-test mean score are for the means. For the pre-test, the test score are 9.37, while the post-test mean score was 11.26. Thank you.
So guys, I will give a review that the findings reveal the post-test score was significantly higher than the pre-test in intelligibility test. There was a zero difference in mean scores between the pre-test and post-test at the comprehensibility level. It means the word English's educational strategy was proven to increase students' learning outcome scores. So the last question, uh, I would like to ask you to give a conclusion of your journal articles and maybe it gives motivation to other researchers to search or to doing a research in the similar topics of yours. Maybe Mr. Albert first.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we can conclude from the findings of this study that a course based on the Word English instructional model is effective to improve students' comprehensive ability about various types of spoken English in the world. The result showed that students listening comprehension improve after implementation of word English concept and theories, and were able to develop a broader perspective on the use of word English. The findings show that the majority of students scored higher on the intelligibility test than on comprehensibility test. So it can be concluded that students are having difficulties and there is need for improvement in terms of listening comprehension. Language proficiency also has a significant impact on students' listening comprehension, like that.
Okay, thank you. So how about your conclusion advice, Mr. Real?
Okay. So, most students mentioned that their English listening comprehension had improved when practicing English variation, uh, which made them more familiar with different English variation. Finding from tests revealed that it is easier for a student to understand wherever he or she is familiar with a particular accent. We concluded that the exposure to an unfamiliar accent helps students with speech comprehension. It can be claimed that familiarity is an important part of helping the student to gain more listening comprehension of English varieties that they are not familiar with. The student also have difficulty when understanding linguistic concepts due to their limited vocabulary ability. Applying the World English's instructional model is not only useful for improving student ability to understand, but also for enabling the student familiarity with different varieties of English and developing the tolerance and flexibility. In addition, most students feel very satisfied and have a more positive attitude toward English varieties when participating in learning activities following the World English Instructional Model. Thank you.
Okay, so the majority of students score higher on the intelligibility test than on the comprehensibility test. So it can be concluded that students are having difficulties and there is a need for improvement in terms of listening comprehension. And then the most students feel satisfied and have a more positive attitude towards English varieties when participating in learning activities following the word English instructional models. That is the conclusion from Mr. Albert and Mr. Real. Thank you for Mr. Albert and Mr. Real. And so, dear viewer, if you have any topic ideas to discuss, or maybe you have some question to our excellent speakers, please leave them in the comment box. We will answer it in the next episode or maybe in the other videos. And please like and share if you think this video is curious. See you in the next video. This is Online Talk Show, Talking to Show.
Bye.